So hi everybody, welcome to your December reading 2020. So I'm going to do things a little bit differently today for the reading. I've got a window of opportunity to do it, so no time like the present, as they say. So I'm going to mix things up a little bit. So I've been guided to do the reading a little bit more, I wouldn't say creatively, but I've just been given a different spread. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the Susan Shepherd astrology, Black Moon astrology cards, and I'm going to use those for the top row. So I'm going to ask Spirit Guides and Angels, please guide us. The first 4 cards, please, for the reading. Thank you. You throw them out, please. Okay. So that's the first 2. And then, ooh. And that's the next 2. Brilliant. Okay, fabulous. Okay, so for some reason I need to leave those out on the side. A couple of bonus cards. Now we're going to move on to the Heal Yourself Ina Segal cards for the second row. So it's going to be another 12 card spread, but I'm going to mix the cards up. So instead of combining them in a shuffle, I've just been guided by my guides to put them together, and I will photograph this and put this in the comments box for you. So I hope you're doing well, beautiful souls. I hope you're looking after yourselves. We made it. We got here, December 2020. I think we need a massive pat on the back, the fact that we got here in one piece. Okay, 5, 6, 7 and 8, please, Spirit. Thank you so much. You might even see what the cards are, probably before me actually, because I don't have a clue. I'm just going to read them off the cuff. I'm not even going to look at the pictures until, brilliant. And then lastly, we're going to ask Spirit to pull out the Muse cards for us. Thanking you. So the last row 4, and you can pick as many cards as you want, guys, as always. Just going to put a little bit of sage to clear, and I'm going to ask Spirit that I'm going to be a channel of divine peace and communication on their behalf during this reading for anyone at any point when they come to this communication. Thank you. 1, 2. 2 more cards, please. Thank you. Spirit Muse. These cards have a completely different energy to the other cards. Right, there we go. That's all the cards out there. Fabulous. Right, now the other thing that I'm going to do is from my old tarot cards, which are tried and tested and true, because the energy that I got from my guides was that people want earthly physical guidance on the earth. They don't want pie in the sky guidance of just, I don't want to say pipe dreams, they want real practical guidance about what's really going on at the moment. So, influencer cards, please, Spirit. So you've said to me it was 4, so influence card for December, number 1. Right, so I'm going to put these on the side. Card number 2. Great. Card number 3, please. Oh, can't take all of those, so they've all got to go back in. Sorry. Just throw me out 1 card, please. Just 1 card, please. Thank you. Lovely. And then the 4th card, please, Spirit. Just so you can get to see the cards being pulled out. So I'm not going to take all of those and pop them back in. They will throw one out for me that's right. Thank you. There you go. Because it's not my energy picking the cards. It's the jumping out without any bias attached to them. That's how I like to do them. Right, okay. So pick as many cards as you want, guys. I will take a picture of all the cards and you can just tune in for yourself. You might get a number. So I'm going to start with number 1, moving across the opposite side of the camera. So for me it's left to right, for you it might come across a different angle. Then I'm going to do the healing cards, starting with card number 5, and then lastly card number 9 here for the last row of the 12, and then I'll lastly do the influence cards. So the influence tarot cards are basically going to be an influence around you. It could be a person, it could be a place or a thing, but they're saying to me to get started. Okay, so card number 1, we have Sagittarius, which is the energy that we're now in, but we're also, a date for your diary is on mid-month. We have a new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius, and it's going to be the precursor for the new energy coming through for next year. So Sagittarius energy is the forever optimist. It's actually a very beautiful energy. It's also the energy of the spiritual teacher. So it could be that there are spiritual teachings coming to light for you this month. So it could be wisdom through your esoteric research and reading, and I don't want to say attainment, but you've been maybe delving into the area of esoteric mysticism or metaphysics, and things are starting to become clearer to you this month. So there, and also Sagittarius is about the archers. It's about shooting the arrow. It's about putting your focus a bit more laser on what it is, where you're heading. So if you felt a little bit like things have been murky this year, I've had absolutely no idea what's going on, I'm absolutely fine with that. I'm just going with it. So I'm doing chop wood, carry water, which is where really our spirituality really lies. It's in the day-to-day existence of our lives. But you want more out of your life. You want to maybe give back more. You want to, because Sagittarius is very much, it's ruled by Jupiter, the planet of luck. So I really feel like Sagittarius is a very lucky energy. And what I have found with the energies this year, as we have moved throughout the year, it's become more and more powerful. So it's been this very dualistic, energetic nature of the year 2020. So finding our 2020 vision. So even though things might look very murky on the ground, in our hearts we might feel very optimistic, and we know what's really going on, which is there's a big clearing going on in the world. Or it could be that we are just, we're starting to see the physical meeting of what's been in our hearts now for a very, very long time. So I would say this is very much a lucky card, but I'm hearing this is the card of clarity for you this month. So if you've not known, you're waiting for a date on something, you're wanting, you've been waiting on further information, it is coming this month for you, card number 1. Brilliant. Card number 2. So this is the planet of what I would say is the inner workings of spirituality, Neptune. So the Greek god of the seas is Neptune, so it is linked with emotions, but I think Neptune now has started to go forward in Pisces. So we're moving out of this age of Pisces and we're moving into this energy of Aquarius towards the end of the month, because Jupiter and Saturn are both literally making a conjunction and moving into this sign of Aquarius, which is an air sign. So it's totally different energy to Pisces. But what I probably want to say with this card is the energy that I am feeling from this card is one of, if we look back and we look back of all the things that have happened where maybe sacrifices have had to be made, is that I get the energy of new beginnings with this card. Is that instead of looking back and reflecting and looking at why things didn't happen and they've not come to fruition in the time that you wanted or in the way that you wanted, is this is a real card of letting all that go. Is letting all that go, because she's actually, the lady in the card is very peaceful, but she's almost like in a ceremonial, ritualistic moment of letting it all go. And sometimes people will ask, well, how do you let go? And I think it's very different for different people. I don't think you can give one straight answer in a reading. I don't think, it depends on the person's energy and how their soul and their uniqueness. And you can see it in a reading with people that, you know, I've done thousands of readings now, and every single person I meet is different. Some people have got similar energy systems, I can almost sense how they relate to certain things and how they respond, but no two people are the same, not even twins. Even if you look at twins' birth charts in astrology, one will be born a minute after another or a few minutes after another. They will be different. They will be different. The charts will be different, and their actual charts, even if the planets are in the same signs, they will have a different soul path. No two souls are the same. They're not. So I want to say to you on this is that there's a letting go for you, card number 2 this month, and the Spirit is saying it's divinely guided. It doesn't have to be painful. A letting go can actually be relief. It can be release. It can be a sense of the weight finally coming off your shoulders and a lightness coming into your life. So that's card number 2. Card number 3. So this is a beautiful card. So this is the card of balance, Libra, the scales. So it could be justice coming into balance. I'm just going to look at the card and just feel, am I getting any energy? But I also feel this is a card of connection, and I'm also hearing with this card for someone there is a much longed for child coming, but it's not coming on their terms. It's come maybe 6 or 7 years later than what they expected, but this is a specific message for somebody, and I'm getting Sagittarius energy around this. I don't know why, but we are in Sagittarius energy. But they're also saying here, I just feel like there's a childlike energy around this card. So to meet your child in the soul, the energy of the soul who's coming in, it's almost like to connect with that energy of that soul is to be more childlike and playful within yourself. And I feel there's some energetic link to be made with the soul on the other side. I also feel for some people this card will be about marriage. It will be about making a decision, should I stay or should I go? This year has really it's brought a lot of clarity to situations that I didn't know I needed clarity on. And I feel like for some people this year Christmas is going to be a big strengthening of the relationship. So conversations that were needed to be had have been had, but also coming around Christmas, I feel around this card for some people there's going to be almost words of appreciation exchanged over the holiday period, and it's much needed. It's not that people are looking for validation, it's just that the communication, it can never ever go underestimated to just say to somebody how much they mean to you, and not to manipulate them or get what you want, but actually to just say, I really care about you and I think the world of you, and you know, our family is the way it is because of you, because you're such a great mum or great dad, or you know, great carer to our loved ones, and I appreciate you. And that almost, I feel the other partner's energy relax. It's like, oh, finally, it's just this card for some reason I'm getting the energy of being seen by someone else, being seen, but being acknowledged. And it's not from a place of need, it's from a place of gratitude. So that's what I get with that card. Right, card number 4, fire element, desire. Wow. So this is a beautiful card. So much activity literally jumped out of my hand. There we go. So what I'm feeling with this card is a heck of a lot of creative activity. So I don't know who this is for, but if somebody is thinking about writing or about making things, there is a portal for you in this Sagittarius time. And also I'm hearing somebody's business with this card, if you've picked this card, is it's just totally taking off and you did not expect it to take off as much as it did. But for some people who are following their divinely guided guidance, and I'm actually seeing faces come out of this card, so I'm actually seeing, like, not to freak anybody out, but I'm actually seeing ancestors around this supporting the goals of us down here. And it can never be underestimated how beautiful it is to get the energetic support of our spirit family. And what I love about this card is I feel like there's a lot of protection around it. It's so interesting because the cards are so funny, because, like, if you just read them and look at them, but if I, this is why all our intuition, it's all unique, and I feel like there's a lot of uniqueness in this card. There's a lot coming out of it. I'm just seeing so much in it. That, to keep going, and that you will get a break towards the end of January, February with your business. And it's like, yes, it is about taking advantage of this, the seasonal selling point. But what Spirit are also saying is that it will, business will pick up and it will balance itself out. But what this has shown you in December is how much your gifts and your talents are appreciated by those around you. And in the next year to 18 months, for somebody, obviously these messages are not for everybody, but some specifics they want to give this month is that in the next up to 18 months, the business, excuse me, Nag Champa's making me cough, it's going to go further afield, and and you're going to be able to do it in a way that's ecological and balanced, because I feel like this is an ecologically based business, and I think those that are working with the green and the earth energy now and anything they do are going to be very successful, because what Spirit is saying is people's attitudes have changed. And I've got to say, from my personal point of view, about time. So people are really starting to realise this year, however much horrendous, and it has been horrendous for many people this year, it's brought a lot of light into our lives. It's actually stopped us, it's slowed us down, it's made us think about things. And what Spirit is saying is the people that are struggling the most are trying to go back to normal. And what they're not realising, it wasn't never about going back to normal, it's about evolving and growing and moving upwards and onwards and not regressing. So a lot from that card, guys. Right, so moving on now to card number 5. So, this is so interesting. So card number 5, this is the card of temptation. I love these healing cards. They can be a bit brutal with their messages, but I actually love that, because it's like when people see swords in the tarot and they think, oh my God. And I think, no, it's great, because it's movement, it's change, it means something is leaving, it's releasing, that's powerful, it's empowering. It's how we use the energy, it's how we utilise it. And this is actually a card about a partner from the past coming back into the now. And the temptation is, I'm feeling a very strong pull with this. So this will be more for people who are, but what Spirit is saying is the energy of the card is the energy of the card. So it doesn't have to just be about love. So they're just saying, remember why it didn't work out in the first place, because what's for you never passes you by. If it was meant for you, it will be for you, and that's it. And the temptation is to reminisce when time has gone by, but there's a reason why sometimes people come together, which is they're supposed to spark up these maybe dysfunctional patterns within each other. It's never one person, it's both sides. And people get the learning and move on faster when they understand it was a learning for both of you. It was it was a process that was helpful to both of you. It was a soul contract. And they're saying, look, for some people it might work out when people have evolved to the state where they're in a vibrational match. But I really feel with this, but there's an element of the person is in, and it's nothing to do with gender on this card. It could be that it could be a woman coming back in, but I feel like this person had a lot of shadow side to them that they needed to work on, and that you're now in the light much more. And remember how you felt when you were with them. Did you feel good? Did you actually feel, was it, and I know that's a very blanket statement, but it's so ignored often when the person comes back in with a big energy pull, because there's that kind of connection, especially if it's like a sexual one as well. But if you actually look, one of the candles has gone out, so it wouldn't necessarily be a situation where the spark would live up to the memory of what the spark used to be, because you're now a different person. Now, for those of you that this is not about love, this is about old patterns, okay? So this is like, if we go into business and we're maybe, I'm just going to give you a hypothetical situation. So you could be somebody who is very, you care about people, you're gentle, you're kind, there's a little bit of people pleasing there because there might be a lack of assertiveness in the past, and you've got new clients or new business and you're running yourself ragged trying to please everybody and get things done, where you just need to get a system in place. And if business improves and you've got orders to do, you increase the lead time and you say to people, I'll get to you as soon as I can. You communicate it. You don't promise something you can't deliver, but you're also honest, because people can feel into it. There's an energy around lying that when you've, so many people now are so much more intuitive these days. They feel it, they pick up on it. That will aid much more to the longevity of your business, because people are fine as long as they get a bit of comms and they know somebody's genuine and they're doing the best. If somebody isn't understanding, they're usually because they're one of those people that they're never ever going to be happy with whatever anybody gives them, because they want things when they want it. They've got a lack of empathy. Anyway, my point here is that don't fall into old patterns. You don't have to sacrifice your care for yourself for success. It doesn't serve anybody. And you can always, what Spirit's saying is, call on for help. So ask for help from those around you, and you'd be surprised. Again, a lack of assertiveness and maybe self-esteem. It's like, oh no, I'd just rather do it on my own. It's easier than by the time I explain it to somebody and by the time I ask for help and whatever. But actually, you know what? It might free up your energy to do lots of other things, and it's a lesson in opening up that, avenue of support for what's to come to help increase your success will actually happen faster in that way. There's almost like an energetic link to that. Right, a lot coming out from that card. Right, so now let's move on to card number 6. Say what you mean. So this is the card of communication. So whatever's coming up for you this month, be clear, be direct. Again, there's a pattern with these cards with assertiveness. If you're not sure and you're worried about saying the wrong thing, you can always say to somebody, can I get back to you on that in the next day? And then you can go away and you can formulate a response if it's a work situation and it's tricky. I've got to say with this card, for somebody, I want to say don't react, act. So that's why the stalling is being suggested. So it's like, well, instead of rushing off and just not wanting to deal with the problem, it's like, it's okay for you to say, I'm not sure right now, but can I get back to you on that? And you don't even have to say that. If it's about relationship situations, don't rush any decisions is what I'm feeling with this card. Don't rush any decisions, and don't put yourself under any pressure. I always say, if in doubt, don't do out. That used to be my motto years ago. when I wasn't sure. And there was a reason why you're not sure, because maybe it's because you need more information. You need to come to that resolution within yourself and your own body. You need to feel it before you then say to the person, look, this is not working for me. This is what I need. Sometimes we need to give ourselves space to figure out what it is. Obviously not take like 6 months. I mean, there's nothing worse than being in a relationship with somebody who never knows what they want, because there's an element of somebody not taking responsibility for the happiness when they say that, because it's like them saying, well, I did tell you I didn't know what I wanted. Well, no, actually, you are an adult. Be an adult. Yeah, so that's what I get with that card. Yeah, don't react, and don't, you know, especially around the seasons and family members and family, just sometimes it's better to just step back from the situation, gather your thoughts, and say things when you know you've got that strength of conviction within yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, now this card came up upside down. Now, I don't tend to read inversions with these cards because I don't actually think that they have them in this pack. I'm just going to double check though. I'm just going to put that and you can have a look at that card. So yeah, some of these cards are they are a bit brutal, but what I really like about them is they cut straight to the point. Yeah, see, they don't have, and I knew they didn't have inverted meanings, but I also feel that there's a reason why that card was upside down, which is don't let your pride get in the way from asking for help. I've got to say with this number, it's a 7 card and it's come out 7, so this is a very significant message for somebody here. I get a lot of energy around this card that this is the group of overworkers, overachievers, won't stop until you're literally run ragged, you're exhausted, because I'm seeing two sides. I'm seeing this absolute, obviously the card's showing us two sides, beauty, but also almost like a death energy, which I'm picking up as being feeling worn out, feeling burnt out, and this is a card really like, say if there's been fights or quarrelling or disagreements with others, sometimes it's just not worth it trying to prove a point, defend your position. You know, it's like saying, do you think you're always right? This is like the card of the battle of the egos. This is about the card of being willing to receive assistance. This is why I get this energy around it of work. And this is something that you see with codependent patterns, which is people overwork and then they'll get resentful and they'll get really cross. So the persecutor, the wounded, and the victim. So you get the 3 points of the triangle. So you get the persecutor, the victim, and the rescuer. So the person will just try to do everything because they feel it's their responsibility to rescue people, and also they want to be like the saviour complex, which is, well, look what I did. It's all about a misplaced sense of self-esteem. It's actually not self-esteem. It's trying to get self-esteem from outside yourself. And then when people don't recognise all the hard work and all this and look at me and what have I done, then the person can then go into victim mode, feel sorry for themselves, and then start persecuting everybody around them. So, well, if I hadn't have done it, nobody else would do it type thing. When actually the healthy thing to do is to say to people, look, can you help me with this? I'm feeling a bit tired. And recognising where your own boundaries are, so knowing where your energy is running low and not letting it get to that point of no return. So again, there's no judgment on this. It's about being conscious. And I also want to say to card number 7, you know, if you've picked this, is to stop being so harsh on yourself, that if you've got to the end of the year this year, well done. Even if you don't have a job, if you've not figured it out, you don't know where you're going, you don't know what you're doing, you will figure it out. You will come to a decision. You will get an answer if you just give yourself some space and some cut the slack on yourself. Because actually, that almost that persecutor victim rescuer energy can be internalized as well, and we can often go like, I'm such a bad person, I should have had a job by now and whatever. And yeah, I won't go into like stories and stuff because I want to carry on with the cards, but there's so much to this card, and I want to say to you that when you ask people for help, you're going to be pleasantly surprised this month with the amount of support around you, and that people have probably been wanting to help you for quite some time, but they've just not known how to, because you're coming across as the do it all, getting it all done. Right, so this is interesting for card number 8. So you got the cycles card, again upside down, but again I'm seeing that as a message from Spirit. And I want to say there's a big cycle for you coming to an end. I don't know what that is, because everybody's individual lifestyles and situations will be unique. But I have to say with this, it's a cycle really coming to the end here. So get ready, because I feel there's a big boost coming. But I also am hearing for somebody that with this card, there's going to be a period of rest, and they want you to take it. And again, linked to this energy of like, you know, willing to be assertive, not pressurizing yourself. And also not be hard on yourself, is Spirit is saying, please take the rest. Please take the rest, because they want you to be really jazzed up for what's to come. So if you keep saying to yourself, I can't take a rest, well this needs doing, and Johnny's washing needs doing, and like the house, and we need to do this, and we need to, and they're saying actually your energy, this is for somebody specific, and they're giving me like fruit pastels, so I don't know if somebody likes to eat fruit pastels that this message is for. Somebody likes sweets, not chocolates but sweets, candies as the Americans would say. And it's like they're just saying take the rest, because the things that you want are coming, but next year around about February and March. But there's going to be nothing happening for about 2 to 3 weeks, and they're saying don't take the rest and then just be writing and strategizing. They're saying your brain actually needs a rest as well. It's exhausting your body. You're thinking, planning. And they're just saying that's not going to work next year for a lot of people. The planning cycle is going to, I don't know why, but that's what I'm hearing, that planning is just not going to, because energy is just, for those people that work with manifestation, no, they've learned how to work with energy so powerfully now, it's quite instantaneous. And what Spirit's saying is a lot of the old ways of how we're doing things have changed. So if you see a bit of smoke, it's because I've got nag champers on the incense sticks on the floor here, and it's making my it's making my chest a little bit dry. I don't know why. Right, okay, so now on to card number 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, perfect. Right, so we've got the Muse cards, right. So 6 of material. So this is the card of, I see this is a card of abundance, of being able, you'll have everything that you need to create. And I really feel with this card is that the creation lies within you. So for somebody here, this is going to be going it alone for a while, not sharing all your ideas. It is about accepting help from others and power and balance, but it's also about, this is the card of coming out of a miserly mindset. So this is, for me, because it's like raining roses, this is the card of abundance. And I think what I'm really feeling with this card is abundance starts with us giving first. So we give what we most feel that we need, which sounds very counterintuitive, but actually what it does is it tells the universe, it tells Spirit, actually this is, I already have this, so I'm willing to give it. So then the universe just produces more of it for you, because you're already saying to the universe, well, I know I've already got it, it's within me, it's here. And it's why some of these very successful people are so charitable, because they started from humble beginnings and they've learned to not hold on to things, because they know there's more of it to come. And this is going to be a big test for people next year, because a lot of people are going to be forced out of their old lifestyles and A lot of people are losing their jobs, and it's very, very difficult for many people, but it's also an opportunity for something new. So card number 10 is the Devil card. So the Devil card can actually mean marriage, but the Hierophant is more marriage, which is Taurus. But the Devil is also about letting go of addictions, bondage, being manipulated, or feeling stuck in the confines of your story. So you are being given an opportunity in December to let go of some of the old stories of this year, but also in your life of what that means for you. And I feel that, like any self-imposed shackles, this month you're being given an opportunity to rewrite the story. And I feel like with this card, somebody that's going to listen to this knows this already. They know that the story has to be dropped because they've got big plans for next year, and they've got things they really want to do in their lives, and it's like the pennies dropped with them, and like they've really realised that it was all energetic, it was an inside job, and that you actually are the divine weaver of what. So you're starting to learn that energy matches internally first before the external changes, and you're really starting to figure that out. So that's actually a very powerful card. See, there's a lot of fire in that card as well, and it burning away. And she's just got her hands up, and she's like, no, I'm not doing any more of that crap anymore. 11, 5 of materials. Interesting. So I don't know if you can... I'm going to move this card a little bit further forward because it's quite hard to see on the camera. Right, so this card is quite interesting. I'm just looking at it here. Hello. Put my face on the camera there for a minute. There's a lot going on with this card, actually. It's a massive card of releasement, actually. 5 of inspiration. So this would actually be the 5 of materials. I always get these cards mixed up. There's definitely a link, though, to air energy around this card. So if you've had hardship or worries about finances or difficulties or health struggles, it's asking you to enter into the great hall of love. So this is about self-care, and maybe in the past you might have felt on the edge, and this is about creating a sense of like a safety bubble for yourself energetically. And that if you can actually see the person is down there on the ground, but actually the doorway is just here, and it's like the hand for me is pushing the person to go into the hallway. So this is the card of accepting worthiness into your heart in December. And it's about healing the rift behind any wealth or health you desire but aren't experiencing today. So there's going to be a healing of the gap. Again, can you see the patterns here, guys, with the cards? There's an energy with the cards that's come through. So the Muse card, 6 of materials, the Devil, shackles, being self-imposed, restrictions. This is, again, letting all of that go during December. It's like, I'm not having another year like that. I'm not having another period like this in my life. It's going to change. Change or be change is what I heard for December as well. And then lastly, we've got the Hermit card. So this is a very, very healing card. This is linked to the sign of Virgo. And the Hermit is where we go into sometimes the temple or the goddess cave, and we go into a place of solitude. It can, when you say that to people, they can absolutely freak out, especially if they don't like being on their own. But it doesn't need to be like that. It could be metaphorically that you feel more introverted during this month, and you want to make contact with your own wisdom and not teachers and people and things outside yourself. Listening to your heart. It's a contemplation period. but also for some people it can be about not spending too much time alone. So that if you felt isolated this year, or you felt life was isolating, which many of us have, it's, you know, the choice has been taken out of our hands in many aspects, but there's actually lots of ways where you don't have to feel isolated. You just don't have to. Yeah. So I'm just going to leave that card there. And this is about listening deeply and see the lessons that live in the simplest of things. And it's about consulting the sage within, is what I want to say to you. So this is all linked to financial and physical support, security, earth needs, you know, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the basic needs that we have, and how we fulfill those, how we meet those, how we greet them, actually, is what I want to say. Right, so let's do, first of all, these additional cards that came out. So if you feel guided to listen to this, these two cards came out for the top row. So, and this is the Grand Cross, which is Provoker. So this is when all the planets line up and they create a cross formation in the sky. And what it does is, when it provokes, it's waking things up for change, sometimes that need to be changed. And Virgo, I analyse, which is a mercurial sign because it's ruled by the planet Mercury, like Gemini. And this could be to do with thought patterns, mind patterns, how we think. Do we lead with our head or do we lead with our heart? Are we going to follow our head first and then worry about our heart later? Or are we going to, which is my preferred method in honesty, which is to fuse the two together? And I'm not one of these big advocates of, you know, switch off your mind and, you know, all these like oneness, well, so-called oneness teachers. And I know this sounds critical, guys, but I've just seen so much BS in the spiritual world about, you know, silencing your mind. I mean, I love Eckhart Tolle. I think he's brilliant. I think he's the best teacher on this, because he, you know, he tells you how to do things practically. But I also think, like, our mind, our brain is a wonderful organ. It's there for a purpose as well. But it's about not over analysing situations, and I feel like this is what the Provoker might be bringing up this month. There might be things coming up in the ethers collectively where we're being, you know, critical thinking is needed, and we don't need to jump at the first thing that we're told by maybe the government, or we need to make a decision for ourselves, which is we collate the information for ourselves and we do what's best for us and our lifestyles, not in harm to anybody else. But we cannot believe everything that the media and external sources are telling us, because how do we know how reliable it is, because it changes every day. So I think there's going to be a lot of provocation out there in the world anyway that we're going to see. I mean, we've already seen enough of it. And I feel like these cards are here to tell us that, you know, we can step back from that. We don't have to participate in that either. We can be our own thinkers and feelers. We don't have to rely on a middleman, which is what religion tells us all the time. Well, we have to do it this way, otherwise you'll go to hell. And, well, it's actually, well, no. I mean, I don't believe that. I'm an adult, and I think that's absolute ludicrous, and it's fear-mongering. How is that being kind, and how is it promoting connectivity and unity consciousness? It's not. See, I prefer the word unity over meanings. I just think it's much more about connecting with people, even if we have a difference of opinion. We can actually do it in unity consciousness. It's just about letting people, let them let them live their lives, you know, as long as they're not hurting other people, or they're, you know, going out of the way to restrict another person from their human rights. Let people get on with it. Right, so those are those cards there. So now I'm going to look at the influencing cards. So card number 1. So this is, if I can balance these up, so this is the 3 of Wands. So this could have so many different meanings. It could actually mean that you've got 3 choices coming up, 3 directional points, but it's also opportunities. So this is your influencing card. So if you've got a choice to make this month, look, Lady Luck, Lord Luck is on your side. This is the card really of worries being resolved. And it's like the card of the ship coming in. So I don't know if I can actually get anything more from that card. I think it's that, yeah, because the ship coming in there. It can also, I feel, for some people actually finally making a decision to go on a journey next year or to move abroad. So there might be an influence around you in December where you're toying with this decision, or you're thinking about a complete relocation. But it might be that in the next 3 months, more information will be gathered to make your decision earlier on next year. So that's what I want to say to you on that card. So card number 2, 5, 6 of Swords, and I can hear the gasp, oh my God, the 6 of Swords, and I just think, I really don't want you to worry about this. If you don't like cards that like promote that, it's not about that. This is about the card of travel. So this is is it the Rider-Waite deck, when there's the person and they've got their back turned and they're in a boat and there's swords, and they're moving away from danger. They're moving away from, they're moving in a positive direction. So it could be that you're physically moving away from people that you just don't resonate with anymore, that you find very unreliable and quite possibly even just, I don't want to say dangerous, but you feel very unsettled around them. They're maybe manipulative and they're just not good for you, and you're just gonna wipe the slate clean this month. You know, this is the card of discretion being the better part of valor. So I can never say that word. It's about travelling in the company with others as well in same circumstances. And again, it's resolution of problems. It's a positive direction. That's why I love the Swords cards, because for me, they do promote a lot of movement. So that's your influence card number 2. So card number 3, so you've got the 9 of Pentacles. Interesting that we haven't had any major arcana cards, because I didn't really know what I was going to expect. But so this is lovely. This is the card of comfort, and it's about enjoyment. It's about prosperity. It's about good sense and financial shrewdness. So maybe for you this year, you've realised that you really don't need much to be happy. It's about good administration of your resources, and it shows that it's relaxation is now possible after hard work for the holiday season. That's great. Sometimes the 9 of Pentacles can mean purchasing new furniture or connection with gardens. It might be that you're investing in maybe planting some seeds or some, I don't know if it's probably not the right time with the ground being frozen, but maybe a polytunnel or a greenhouse. For some of my friends, I think was it this year or last year, I can't really remember, but I bought them a whole collection of organic seeds to keep, you know, like the heirloom seeds going. And because they were starting to grow all their own salads and veg, so I bought a winter and a summer box, and I just thought it's the best present ever, because like they get to create something in their garden and they get to feed themselves. So it's actually a really good Christmas present if anybody's stuck for stuff. I bought the brown envelope seeds from Westcourt because I've grown stuff with them before, and they're all organic. They're seeded by they're created by a family that have their own farm, and they've just got so much integrity in them. And and they do lovely, it's all eco packaging and things like that. So just lovely things. People that can create and grow things with their hands, lovely. So sorry, I digress there, guys. Hijacking your Nine of Pentacles card, but there could be a link now of you wanting to connect with growing things, or maybe it could be even be flowers. It could be making things. But beautiful card to have for December. So that's your influence this month. And then finally, we have got the Queen of Cups for card number 4. So beautiful. The Queen of Cups can often be a Scorpio, Cancer or Pisces woman. I often see her as more of, I don't know really, I see her as a beautiful, warm-hearted woman who is offering, so she freely gives her love, and she's just kind, and you know, she shines brightly. It's absolutely beautiful feminine energy. So it could be that this person is influential to you this month. The Queen of Cups is known as having expressive eyes, sensuous lips. They say that her hair is generally, her colouring's fair, but I don't buy into that with these cards. I get it's all energy with me. It's nothing to do with what you look like. It's what you emanate. So it's warm, sympathetic and sociable woman, but I also want to change that sympathetic word to empathic more. Artistically gifted and very imaginative. She's honest, she's loyal, and she's devoted to those that she loves. So if she came out upside down, I would say she was manipulative. And I've seen this with water signs, especially I've got, my predominant energy is water, so I do understand this energy quite well. But I've seen it with some water signs where they've been very, very manipulative in the past. And it's down to poor self-esteem, unfortunately. But we're not getting that with this lady. She's coming through upright. So she's here to help. She's here to offer you love. She's here. It could be a loved one in the spirit world that's coming through. Somebody that reminds you of my cup runneth over, an abundant, very empathic, kind, creative woman. Somebody that really was incredible. She'd make do with everything that she had in life. She was just very, very giving and very kind, and you know, she had like flour in the cupboard. She'd make bread from scratch and it would just taste amazing. That kind of energy. It could be somebody like that coming around you in December to help you, and is saying, look, I'm giving you my cup. What is it that you need? Please ask. Please connect with me. I can't connect with you unless you allow me to. So could be lots of different meanings for lots of different people, guys. So I hope your reading has made sense to you. I'm sending you from my heart to yours all my love for an amazing December. And just remember, guys, we've got here through such a tumultuous year, and it's probably taught you what you don't need. It's probably taught you what's important. It's probably showed you what works and what doesn't, where you can slow down, where you might want to speed up in other areas, where you might want to put your energy into something more, what can be rebalanced. But please enjoy this month, and there's lots of blessings in this reading this month. It feels very uplifting to me. It feels very upbeat, especially after a difficult year. The support from Spirit is just so, it doesn't have an end point. It's everlasting, guys. So, you know, please know that you are so worthy of this help and support. All right, so have a fantastic December, and I'm sure I'll be back on here soon to do a reading, probably around Christmas time, and just tune in, or I'll be on the group and I'll be doing readings as and when the guides guide me to do it. All right, guys, take care. Speak to you soon. Bye.